Hi, I'm Trisha at Club Scrap. This is the Baby Remix Page Kit Workshop, and notice I said remix. This is a second release of an original collection we just called Baby, so just make sure you're pairing the right video and instructions with the kit that you have on hand. Be mindful that the kits are very similar. We did add this adorable polka dot print to the mix, so if you start sorting papers and you don't have what I'm calling out, maybe go back and find the original kit instructions. I'll begin by setting aside all of these adorable goodies. And I've got my Cutaparts and papers here. Let's go ahead and sort the papers according to the order that we'll be using them, as we usually do. And notice too that I have my trimmer right here. I'm using my favorite Fisker's guillotine. If you don't have that, make sure you pick it up. It's gonna give you the best possible results. First sheet we're gonna be working with is this cute polka dotted print. I'm gonna put that face down on my work surface, and I'm only grabbing just one of those. And then next, let's take the Harlequin print. This is that mint green color. Then, continuing with our prints, we'll do the striped print. And then we'll reach for all three of the yellow planes. There are a total of three. 1, 2, 3, all three of them. Next up will be purple. Take one of those. And then there is this white linen texture. Just grab one of those and put it texture side down if you want. And then finally we'll trim the Cutaparts here. Let's begin with the one that says, "Hello, my name is." It's so cute. And then this other Cutapart from the back of your pile will be next. That'll be the last thing we trim, but we're gonna keep sorting all the paper. Let's go with the two remaining purple. 1, 2, purple plain. And then a stripe print. That should be your last one of that. Put it face down. Then the remaining white linen. And again, I'll put this texture side down. Followed by the Harlequin print. The purple polka dot print. And then the two pink plain. So those are pink on both sides. All right, now take the entire stack and turn it back over to where we began with this polka dot. And we're gonna get to some trimming here. It doesn't really matter which way this goes into the trimmer, so just pick a direction, and we'll begin by trimming at 9 3/4. I like to remind everyone that the inches are the second row of numbers, the centimeters are on top, and then 9 3/4, you got to go 3 columns to the left. So that's 9, 9 1/4, 9 1/2, 9 3/4. Stabilize on the clear bar after you ensure that the paper is straight and resting on that guide right up at the top. And then 7 1/2. Always push down on this clear bar to make sure the paper is nice and stable. And then finally 6 1/4. That's our last cut on this polka dot. Now, this largest piece and the skinny one that just fell to the right of your trimmer blade, all that goes in 7 1/8. And oh, as does this medium one, 7 1/8 also. And then finally this last strip, place it in pocket 3 and 4. Now I'm mentioning pockets. I don't know that I told you that I'm using my accordion pocket file, but this is what I use. If you need help making one of these, I do have a video tutorial workshop you can purchase along with a starter kit if you need. Otherwise, just maintain 4 piles in front of you, and you can even use maybe post-it notes to label them. I like to use this because it limits the space required for my work. Now on this next one, I'm going to have you place this in the trimmer so that the diamond shape runs the long way. So I feel like the print, to me, this is right side up, so you want to place it in your trimmer sideways. And we'll cut it 10 3/4. You're going to be real close to 11 here, 1 column away from 11. That's 10 3/4. 9 1/2. And 6 1/4. Notice that I'm allowing the paper just to stay where it lands rather than moving it each time. Then I'll trim at 8 1/2 and 4 1/4. Take the two pieces you made that are the same and place them in pocket 7 and 8. There's going to be a little rectangle left over. Let's trim it horizontally at 6 and 3. And place these two matching pieces in 7 and 8. Sorry to inform you that this is a scrap. And then we have this wider piece here going in pocket 3 and 4. And the remaining two narrow pieces, add those to 5 and 6. We'll trim this one at 10 and 6 1/4. And rotate. Once again, we'll cut at 8 1/2, 4 1/4. You made two pieces the same, pocket 1 and 2. And then we'll trim this strip at 6 and 3. One of the pieces goes in 3 and 4, and the other in 7 and 8. I'm gonna make some squares out of this next strip. And by the way, you just made a second scrap. Sorry about that. Let's cut at 11 1/4, 7 1/2, 3 3/4. Gather up the squares. Well, they're not quite square. They are square. And then place them in pocket 3 and 4. This little tiny strip here, 5 and 6. The longer strip that remains, 3 and 4. And we finally get to move on to a fresh color of purple here. We'll trim at 11, 9, and 6. Rotate the 6 by 12. We'll cut at 8 and 4. Place them all in pocket 5 and 6. The next time we're going to trim this strip here. This is a 3 by 12. We'll cut it at 9, 6, and 3. Gather up the 4 squares and place them in 5 and 6. And also the last 2 strips, 5 and 6. So that entire sheet is used on one layout. Now you have two options for this stripe print. You can trim it at 9, 6, and 3, or you can tear it into 3-inch strips. So the way I like to do that is just use my grid ruler that happens to be 3 inches wide. And make sure you just line up the ruler with the edge of the print. And whether you're trimming or tearing, make sure the stripes are running vertical with the ruler. And with downward pressure, I'll just pull up. And that gives me a 3-inch piece. Look at that. Then I'll just slide down again, line up the ruler. Push down firmly. And pull up. And one more time. I guess I can just even use this as a little leveler. That worked really slick. And I get another 3-inch piece. All 4 of these 3-inch pieces are going to be placed in pocket 1 and 2. That was easy. Moving on to the first sheet of yellow. So just make sure you only take one, trim one at a time. And our cut will be at 6 1/4. Rotate that piece in the trimmer and cut at 8 1/2 and 4 1/4. You can stack up those matching pieces and place them in pockets 7 and 8. And then this rectangular piece goes in 5 and 6. Okay, this next strip, the remaining strip here, will cut at 11 1/4, 7 1/2, and 3 3/4. You should have 3 pieces that are the same. Those go in pocket 1 and 2 with the strip in 5 and 6. And now we're moving to the next sheet of yellow. Make sure you just have one, and we'll cut at 11 3/4, 11 1/2, 10, 8 1/2, and 4 1/4. 4 1/4. You should have made 2 strips that are the same. Stack them, rotate so they're horizontal, and trim at 6. all 4 of these pieces, pocket 3 and 4. The next 2 strips, 7 and 8. And the last 2, these really skinny guys, 3 and 4. We finally are reaching our last yellow. Next, take the white linen, and we'll trim this one at 6 1/4. And then rotate, trim at 8 1/2 and 4 1/4. These 2 pieces are the same. Put one in pocket 3 and 4 and the other in 5 and 6. And then this next rectangular strip we'll trim at 5 3/4, 2 3/4. And just bear with me here. Rotate this and cut it at 3 1/4. It's going to go in pockets 7 and 8, as does the larger piece goes in 7 and 8. And then take the remaining strip here. You did, by the way, make 2 little scraps. We'll just trim this last strip here at 8 and 4. And gather these up and place them all in pocket 3 and 4. And we've arrived at our Cutaparts. They do request that you remove everything from the outside of that little line right there. So let's go ahead and somewhat generously cut that off. Now by generous, I mean that I went a little bit past the edge of that line, so I can go back and do that final cleanup as soon as I've rotated. Once I take off that initial piece, I can see better both at the top and the bottom edge of my blade for a more accurate cut. And I'll rotate and do this edge. By now it's going to be nice and level and straight. One more rotation here, and I should be able to do this at 12 inches. Lines up quite nicely at 12. And then same for this last rotation. Here we are at 12. And notice I did take off just a little hair with my good quality trimmer here. Throw away those scraps, and our first cut here is going to be at 10 3/4. Also, you want to make sure the word hello is on the left so that the narrow strip falls off the right edge. Allow those strips to pile up. We'll cut at 9 1/2, 7 3/4, and 4. Rotate and create a little scrap here. 11 1/2 and 5 3/4. All right, hello, my name is 1 and 2. I just got here and I'm already awesome. 3 and 4. You do have a scrap, and this next strip we'll trim at 11, 8 1/4, 5 1/2, 2 3/4, and we'll distribute the snuggle is real 1 and 2. Eat, sleep, repeat 5 and 6. The next 2 go in 1 and 2, and there's a smaller piece 5 and 6. For the strips, hello little one 5 and 6, and the last 2 that match, they're coordinating title here, a 7 and 8. For our remaining cut apart, once again we'll take off that outside perimeter, again cutting generously on that first time so that you can see better. And you'll know what I mean. If you're using this kind of trimmer, you will know exactly what I mean by being able to see better after that initial trim is made. You can see both the edge of the blade here and at the bottom. Once again, I'll make that last cut, take off that little sliver, throw away the scraps, and let's trim at 10 1/4, making sure the words "You're such a ham" are up here. And then 8 1/2, 8, 7 1/2, 6 3/4, and 3 1/2. Rotate And we'll cut at 10.5, 7, and 3.5. Okay. So You're Such a Ham, that's 3 and 4. The Bunny, 7 and 8. I'm the Reason We're Late, 3 and 4. How convenient. On a Scott Milk, if you'd like. You can do this with a craft knife and cutting mat, but I also just like to bring the blade way down where I can see where it's going to trim and just take off the corners of the tag. So that's 1 and 2. For this next piece, we're going to take off all those cute little words. So 11.5, 8 3/4, 6. If you want, you can do a quick rotation and lob off that triangle to turn it into a tag. And then you'll need a punch to knock out the top there. And this is going to go in pocket 5 and 6. And then the sweetest little thing, that goes in 7 and 8. And Oink, 3 and 4. Then you have all these tiny little words. If you want, you can take scissors and just cut them. They'll frame up pretty nicely, but I think I ended up just trimming them directly out of the white base. Totally up to you, but Quack and Bah, that goes in 7 and 8. We have to make sure we dump out the entire contents. Then Moo goes in 1 and 2, and Oink, 3 and 4. Then we've got this Dottie strip, 5 and 6. One of these rectangular strips, 1 and 2. The other in 7 and 8. Shower Me with Love, 3 and 4. And Party My Crib, 2 a.m. Bring Bottle, 1 and 2. I love that so much. These are the best quotes ever. Okay, I think that indicates we're finished with the trimming. So I'm going to set aside my trimmer. I'm going to clean up the multitude of scraps that we've created for all 8 of these pages. I know it's a lot, so you just try to, not to be too sad. And then I had the remaining stack of papers here, which I will leave all the papers in the stack and then just slide the top one over. So I have 1 sheet of purple here and then the entire remaining stack on the left. So this is the center of my workspace, the center of my double page spread. In your instructions, go ahead and turn to the end. So go all the way to page 5 and then check out the bottom. That should be the base with 2 purple. Then we know everything is just as it needs to be for us to assemble backwards. So from layouts 7 and 8, we will kind of place things, dry fit, in other words, without adhesive. And once we know that every piece kind of has its home, then you'll go back without me and glue everything down and embellish away and just get everything completed. So this larger piece of lavender, this polka dot print goes across, maybe just a little above center here. And the 2 narrow strips, I like to get these longer strips placed before anything else because they usually end up underneath things. I'm going to go with the whiter areas on the left here. I'm not sure which direction you trimmed yours, but doesn't matter. And then I'll flank right below that little printed strip. I'm going to add the yellow with the quote title. First we had each other, then we had you. And then over down here, we'll end it with now we have everything. Sweet as can be. Then right below the title, I'll take the 2 yellow photomats that we have and kind of nestle them in there. They fit so nicely. And then the 2 Harlequin print photomats, I think I centered them up on this sheet. Then down the edge here, I've got the pattern. And then the white, the larger of the 2 white, and the other Harlequin pattern. Place the other nested white piece onto the yellow. If you happen to have like a circle thin cutting die, go ahead and pop this out of the paper if the circle seems to be of a decent size to match. It doesn't have to be exact. You could have a little tiny white frame around it, or you could just pick a spot with a smaller circle or a punch. Or if you don't have any of those things, just use scissors. No problem. And he's out, and I can tuck him kind of behind here and also underneath my nested mat there. This strip, I realize, goes vertically in between. That fits nicely. And then this should fit right on top in the lower left. Now we have the onesie tags. So those are going to be placed here with one saying ba and the other quack. Now I did trim those out, and I inked the edges again a little bit, maybe with some ash ink or something, just to differentiate them a little bit. And I happen to have a texture embossing folder with polka dots on it, with dots that I used to add a little texture to the tag, which is super cute. Topped them with some of the ribbon and then added the love word there. Let's go over those details now on the finished page. Here it is. We've got our love. Check out the little embossing. Isn't that cute? It just adds so much. And then I just added, after removing the little hole that's die cut, I added a little bow of that mint twine. Now there's 2 full yards of this. There's plenty of the twine to go around. Then over on this side, I've got everything just as shown, and I added the safety pin, again using the mint twine to draw attention to that cute tiny little charm. People who have looked at these layouts already just comment always on the adorable diaper pin. So it's a sweet addition to this collection. All right, now I'm going to take the base, this purple base here, just that one sheet, and lay it on top of layout 8. Then take the stripe print only and slide it to the right. That gives me what I need for layouts 5 and 6 after I empty the contents of that pocket. Make sure you get to the bottom of it. And I do like to distribute these items from the palm of my hand rather than from the tabletop. It's a little easier to get everything, sent to its proper home. So I'll take the Harlequin print strips, and this gives the illusion that this is actually a printed sheet of paper, but it's really white. And then we have a skinny purple going right up against it, and a wide purple up at the top. I even hate to cover up that gorgeous linen paper. And then you should be able to nest your little strips on top. It'll fit really well. And then, as if someone planned it perfectly, these vertical pieces will fit right in there like a puzzle. If you want, you can add your purple plush star. And there is a little journaling prompt here. And this really long piece of yellow. Bear with me. Now, in the center horizontal of this, you're going to have a nested pair. To the right of it, this should nest on the yellow, the cut apart. And then you can add 4 squares, 2 above and 2 below. Fits nicely. And then the You Are Loved, you can get your angle cuts in there and then add a little point into this piece. And you can tuck that kind of in here, kind of let that anchor on top a little bit. And then you can do the same with your other yellow. And in order to give the appearance of having 2 of them, just cut one short and one long. And then you've got a nice little double anchor on which you can add your woodcut hello. And I just attached that with our bookbinding glue. Works great. The safety pin charm, really sweet. Take the yellow plush star and add it, and then you'll add some ribbon as well. And another baby bottle charm down over here. Now, finishing touches. Here we have the nested tag. Clip the corners of the yellow again, punched through and added it with foam adhesive, then threaded the ribbon around to the back. You can see the ribbon added to the bottle charm as well. For this, I used bookbinding glue, and then I used the tape dispenser to hold it down in place till it bonded with the paper. You could use a dry adhesive for that as well, not a bad idea either. You can see the plush star added, and then the double fake out basically with our little anchoring strips here, and then the diaper pin charm, super cute there on the left side. Okay, let me lift up now just the white linen base, slide it over, and then we'll slide our Harlequin print here, and now the diamonds are vertical. And we'll flip over now to pages 3 and 4. Empty those pockets. Make sure you get that little oink out of there. He's way down at the bottom. And let's see what we got here. How about some crisscross pattern toss? I'm going to take the purple, and there should be a really skinny yellow I can place next to it just to help transition the pattern from one pattern to the other. Now with the larger yellow, let's go to those ones. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then there should be some smaller white that fit. And then there's a larger white that wouldn't fit, that goes down below here. Then to the left of this overlap I just got here, and I'm already awesome. And then we have our Shower Me. Oh goodness, we have all kinds of things I need to put down first. So let's take that strip off. We're gonna go with the Harlequin print down here at the bottom and flank that with the, didn't I just say that I like to put the big strips on first because they usually go underneath things, and then I didn't follow my own advice. There we go. And this can go back on top. Grab one of your little tags. Maybe you've embossed it by now. Oink. It's gonna go here. I think it has a little companion it can nest onto perfectly. And now we have a row of 3 squares. I'm the reason we're late and you're such a ham, and the oink goes on the onesie. Now for embellishing, let's talk about that. Over here on this one, I made a little loop of that 7/8 inch cotton ribbon and just taped it to the back of the yellow square. And he's a pretty dimensional charm, but he's so cute. We just couldn't resist him. And I used our bookbinding glue, and he doesn't go anywhere. And I topped him with a little twine bow. Now on the left side here, you see the the onesie. It just makes me really happy. And then my little wink on there. And I made just a simple loop of the ribbon to sort of match what was happening on the other layout there and balance that out. Just taped him to the back. We'll take this polka dot base, slide him over. And we've arrived already at layouts 1 and 2. I'll pick up the remaining items out of the accordion pocket file. And let's see what we've got going on here. We've got all of these striped pieces. Now, you're going to have 2 edges that are not torn. So I can take this straight edge and put it here, and then flank it with this pattern, just as a sweet, intentional thing. And then the other piece with the straight edge can go here if you want. And party 2 a.m. my crib, bring bottle. If you want, you can do it that direction, whatever works for you. And then the other pieces go on the right edges. Along this side, we'll add our 3 horizontal, smaller, I just discovered those are the big ones, 3 smaller horizontal yellows that should be able to lay film strip style, and the other 2 get placed at an angle up here. The snuggle is real, and then the makeshift tag here. Now this guy, after trimming it into an oval, I used my trimmer to cut off the side so I could put it directly against the edge of my page. Got Milk's gonna go up here. Hello, my name is goes down here. Our last little onesie And then I have to hunt down what happened to my little caption. I know it's around here somewhere. I did see it, so I'm not going to worry about it at this moment. And we have our little plush star, some ribbon added, the remaining charms added. So let's now take a look at my finished page here. And you can see, as I mentioned, I took the right edge off of this guy and added my plush star. Here, just a nice showcase of the white twill. So after punching the hole in the top, you'll bring it up and then wrap it around to the back. Over here on the left side, I used the slot punch. I know a lot of you have seen this. Maybe you already picked one up. We've been carrying them, and they're just, it's really a nice hardy punch. But if I used the slot, then I could just pop, pop, and then run the ribbon through just the cut-apart piece to add the accent to that image there. Here, this was kind of a little technique. So I topped this with some of the white twill and added it with foam adhesive so it would pop a little bit. And then I strung the onesie tag onto the mint twine, and I slid the twine behind it, and then I secured the knot right here so it looks like it's swinging, right? But it's just not. It's stationary, obviously. And this was attached with foam adhesive as well, and then the moo was attached right there next to the baby bottle. I mean, it all works together perfectly, doesn't it? Oh, you gotta love it. Now, this was the page kit instructions for the Baby Remix page kit. Well, you can take that same page kit then and pick up an extra set of these cut-apart add-ons. So this is a card cut-apart. It's a 2-sheet thing, and it helps you turn the page kit into a dozen cards. We don't always do this because it does create a substantial amount of extra work from a production end because of the cards that need to be made, the video and instructions. But we did do that in this case because it was a remix and we already did it. So here you've got a half a dozen A6 cards, a half a dozen A2 cards. The envelopes are not included. All you need to do is pick up the page kit, grab these cut-aparts, and then I will help you turn most of that page kit into the cards. There will be some extra sheets of paper available, several sheets left over, but it's a 2-sheet cut-apart that makes a dozen cards. You have more than enough paper to do that. So maybe take the remaining sheets of paper and you can make some layouts out of it with the cut-aparts, because either way you'll have 2 sets of cut-aparts. You'll have the extra page kit cut-aparts. So if you liked this collection and you need some cards, come and join me at the Baby Remix Card Kit Workshop with another page kit and those add-ons. I hope that all made sense, and I will see you there. Happy baby!